So we're switching to our second topic. And I'm very happy to invite our moderator. Oh, we have some movement here. Here he is already. Please welcome to the stage Tarek Hassan. Tarek is head of digital transformation in the Vietnam Center of the GIZ, and he will have a distinguished group of experts joining him on the topic of shaping the twin transition of green tech. Welcome. Please give a warm applause.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon also from my side. My name is Tarek Hassan. I'm the head of the Digital Transformation Center Vietnam, which is a project implemented by the federal German Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development and implemented by GIZ. Now, shaping the twin transition of green tech, that is a lot of buzzwords in one title right there. And here today we would like to peel this apart and to explore with you what these buzzwords mean in practice. And for this I would like first to involve you. Who of you, by a raise of hand, is using any sort of streaming services like Netflix or Spotify? Most of us. Now you have to get a bit active. If you think that Netflix has a negative impact on the environment, please stand up. Okay, thank you. If you think that Netflix has a negative impact on the environment, please stand up. Sorry, did I just say negative? Twice. On the positive impact on the environment, please stand up. Okay, a lot of people who are, yeah, okay. And this is exactly the dilemma of the twin transition. Now, Netflix, after 25 years of sending DVDs via snail mail, is stopping their DVD delivery. They sent over 5 billion DVDs out. And this is an opportunity, right? Netflix, streaming services, they enable us to dematerialize certain resources. You don't need to go out and buy 30 CDs a year anymore. You can just stream the latest albums you like on Spotify or other music streaming offers. Well, at the same time, you're watching Netflix or Spotify, you're using your devices, your cell phone, your tablets, your TVs, which, again, then uses energy. And if that energy isn't renewable, if the service that Netflix is hosting, that it's hosting on is not driven by renewable power, that is driving greenhouse gas emissions. Now, by using Netflix or Spotify as an example, we are here at the key dilemma of the twin transition. ICT, information and communication technologies, have the potential to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions by up to 20%. But at the same time, right now, digital transformation accounts for roughly 3.7% of all global greenhouse gas emissions. And it is a driver of a lot of e-waste. But don't worry, this is not a doom-scrolling event. We're here to talk about the future and how we shape a better digital and green future together. And for this, we have invited very different innovators from Vietnam and Indonesia. In the beginning, you will hear 2 startup pitches from innovators on the ground making a difference. And then we will also bring together policymakers to discuss how green digital ecosystems can be strengthened in order to boost collaboration. And as a first presenter, I would like to invite Mr. Nguyen Minh, who is the CEO and founder of IoTeamVN. IoTeamVN offers energy efficiency solutions to industrial and commercial clients. Its energy monitoring service monitors in real time the energy consumption at the user's building or factory and then advises them with options on how to reduce waste of energy and optimize the operations. Give it up for Minh.
Everyone, it's a great pleasure for me to be on stage today. I think it's just start. So I'm a bit nervous, so I hope I will make myself clear. If it's not, you can meet me up after the event so we can discuss more. Okay, so let's start. So greeting everyone, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Minh, just Minh. from IoTeamVN, Vietnamese-based company, and we proudly just recently graduated from the Green Tech Incubator program by the ZIZ. We proudly to crowded the champions of the program. So our core offering is the energy monitoring service solution. It's designed to address the growing needs for efficient energy management of the society. So one of the significant challenges that businesses are facing today is the limited visibility of the energy consumption data. So the result of it is the flaw and normally untimely energy-saving decision. And in the end, the result is the possibility of substantial energy expenses. These issues serve as the focal point for our energy solution, which aid business in identifying and mitigating the excessive energy uses and costs. Normally, hundreds of businesses in Vietnam are still reluctant to approach these energy saving services. Not only is due to the cost, the lack of local knowledge for business practices, and the complex implementation process. So this is the point where we jump in and help the business to achieve something to make the difference. So our solutions provide the unparalleled benefit to the customer through real-time monitoring and analysis of energy consumption, empowering the user to optimize uses and achieve substantial cost saving. We have a team of experienced personnel who can offer guidance and support to the client also. Our EMS solutions key distinguishing features will be including the plug-and-play smart meter, intuitive user interface, advanced analytic, and customizable functionalities. We offer customer quite a number of ways to pay for the service. They can rent, they can subscribe, they can purchase, or they can just do revenue sharing. In some cases, the return of investment is quite short. It's only about 2.5 years, so it's quite a small investment. It's very suitable for businesses, small and mediums in Vietnam. Applicable projects that is suitable for the deployment, this one will including like commercial center, offices, factories, and many others. In a normal case, a successful implementation project will result in a significant dropping in consumption of energies, about up to 10% in some cases. And since 2021, we have offered these high quality but low cost services to many Vietnamese businesses. I can see some are like office building, some like rooftop solar or utility supply company, and some normal traditional company. So some of the benefit that we gain actually being part of the Green Tech Incubator program hosted by the ZIZ is that we have access to experienced mentor and an industry expert who offer invaluable guidance and support for us. In addition, we gain access to funding and investment opportunity as well. And furthermore, the affiliation with the Green Tech Incubators help us to increase the recognition, expose us to the market, and increase the visibility. So it will gain us in a business opportunity and collaboration with other green tech companies as well. We also saying that we have been having successful implementations project in and out of Vietnam, but we actually still facing a lot of challenges. One of that is to promoting our service due to the limited awareness of the service and the resources to reach prospect customer. So international support in terms of information dissemination and project funding would greatly assist us in expanding our reach and overall impact. So that is all for me today. Thank you very much for your time and your attention. Highly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minh. And you heard it, there's an ask there. Come see Minh afterwards if you want to collaborate. 100% made in Vietnam, IoTeamVN. Now we're moving a bit southwards, and I would like to invite Ibu Jessica Novia on stage, who is the co-founder and chief impact officer of CarbonEthics. CarbonEthics aims to accelerate the quality and integrity of carbon credit supplies by regenerating exploited into protected forests. And they do so by combining tech with grassroots initiatives. And the offer covers two complementary products, carbon offsetting and carbon trading. So give it up for Ibu Jessica.
Hello everyone, I hope you're still energized, because it's already 3:15 now, woohoo! All right, so for the introduction, I will entertain you a bit with a video instead of me speaking, all right?
Look at this world we call home, from the towering mountains to the deepest ocean. From the very beginning, when we started this journey, we are committed to preserve the nature and bring back the climate balance. Starting with one seedling, we have grown in unimaginable ways over the past 4 years. At every turn of our journey, we ignite our passion for excellence by embracing passionate individuals, strategic collaboration, and enforcing inclusivity.
Karena sudah mengikuti PDL ini, banyak sekali keuntungan kami sebagai petani, terutama dari upah kerjanya.
Kami sebagai masyarakat pesisir setelah bergabung dengan CarbonEthics ini, turun penghijauan dapat, ibarat menjaring siput kan sudah ada di lokasi penghijauan kita.
As we look towards the future, we are determined to push ourselves to new heights in restoring the climate balance. We bring everyone along on this journey by engaging governments, NGOs, companies and institutions in developing strategies to decarbonize our Earth by implementing natural climate solutions, specifically through our blue carbon conservation efforts. Through safeguarding these vital ecosystems, we ensure they can continue to store carbon and support biodiversity for generations to come. Together, we are proving that good intentions can turn into a positive force of nature. It takes one seed to begin a forest and one step to start a journey. Take the first step today, and together we'll pave the way.
So you might already pick up that what we're doing is basically community-based blue carbon conservation. What is that? So blue carbon ecosystem is ecosystem in the ocean that absorb carbon, such as mangrove, seaweed, coral. And Indonesia has the biggest blue carbon stock in the world, but we have one of the highest deforestation rate as well in the world. 1 year we can lose an area around New York. So it's quite a big one, and we know that with the whole climate change, we need to preserve our nature. Right. So why technology becomes a very critical enabler for us? Because our partners who cannot come to our conservation site, they also want to see the witness the benefit enjoyed by our local communities, by the biodiversity. So we need to, then the technology becomes a bridge to enable this, to showcase the impact. So transparency and accountability are the key to the carbon market. So there are several initiatives that we do. For instance, one of them is digital monitoring. So our digital monitoring page was fortunately featured by the Monetary Authority of Singapore. What did we do? What we do is we tag trees and coral, photograph them in a quarterly basis, put it in a public information system, such as in our own website, in Airtable, so that the public can access them. So the MAS quoted that such publication builds trust to show that impacts are real and not double-sold. So another one, for instance, the technology that we adopt is GIS. So Geographic Information System bring us several projects, such as we can build a geospatial website that can show the trees that we planted and also the local communities involved. Other than that, we can also measure carbon stock or estimate existence of seagrass around Indonesia. As Tana mentioned before, that we're the largest archipelago country in the world, so there are lots of potentials, but we need to be strategic and in finding which one to conserve, or for instance, estimating coral health. However, though, the technology, the one that is proper for us to adapt is out of reach for most climate startup. So for instance, the one that we used before, it can estimate up to 42% accuracy only on carbon stock, but for the expensive, the advanced one, can actually go up to 92% accuracy, which we prefer. So of course, if there are the kind of mechanism where it's not too costly for climate startup, then it's perfect. But of course, what we really need in terms of support is to make this technology to be not just voluntary, but actually obligatory to make high quality carbon project, because it's actually just like supply chain rule, right? More demand, meaning there will be more supply, then the price would be cheaper, then obviously there are more adoption on the technology. That would be it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jessica. And you can stay right on stage. Don't run away and take a seat. And I would also like to invite Minh back onto stage. Now please take a seat. Now you heard from two innovators today who are really using business as a force to drive good. But of course, this also needs an enabling environment. So we also brought with you two innovators who work in the policy-making landscape here. I would like to invite on stage Mrs. Ngọc Thanh Nga, who is the Head of Ecosystem Development Department at the National Innovation Center Vietnam at the Ministry of Planning and Investment from Vietnam. Please give her a warm welcome. And then also Andreas Bondan Satriadi, who is the ICT planner of the Ministry of National Development Planning of Indonesia. Welcome on stage. Please give him a warm applause. Now, starting with you, Nga, you heard now two of the innovators in Southeast Asia who do really great work around the twin transition, so driving green and digital transformation. Could you share with the audience here the role that the National Innovation Center in Vietnam is taking in supporting startups, and then also your take on the policy framework when it comes to the twin transition?
Thank you, Tarek. Hi, everyone. Yes, our National Innovation Center, it just set up 3 years ago. It's really very determination from the government. And this is one of this kind because we never had that model before. So our mission is quite huge compared to the resource that put into our NIC. The role of NIC is to create an innovation ecosystem for Vietnam, which is we are at a very early stage. We just have, we do have the stakeholder in the ecosystem, but we haven't got the mechanism for them to work and to collaborate together. So this is the role of NIC when they set up. When we were set up, we got assigned a very specific mission to collaborate and to create legal framework for every stakeholders in the ecosystem to work together, and also to pull in the resources come from state budgets, come from different resource. So the mission from NIC is back to the sustainability goals of Vietnam, is to provide an ecosystem that promote the technology, the green technologies, as well as the R&Ds for green techs, for solutions that reduce the carbon to provide the net zero. So we at this stage we just start with connecting all the partners like universities, academics, VCs, startups, and also experts, Vietnamese, especially Vietnamese experts across the globe, to solve the problem in Vietnam, especially the environmental problems. And yes, we come up with many projects as well as interesting startups like IoT teams, and we are still supporting them, providing them with resources and facilities that NIC have. We are at the very early stage, but we are very positive about the wave ahead. And yes, with the support from organizations like ZIZ, we have partners in a very good partners to forward.
Thank you, Nga. I mean, this is very exciting because we heard earlier about the innovation hubs, such as the Drivery, who are building mobility innovation hubs, and you are building an innovation hub within the government. And you often say in our collaboration that you really try to act like a startup within the government as well. So that's very exciting, I think, in terms of looking at government innovation and the role that governments can play in this. Now, moving southwards to Indonesia, Pak Bondan, could you maybe share with us what an ICT planner at the at the Bappenas Ministry of Development Planning does, and what is the role that you take within innovation and digital transformation in Indonesia, and then also how that relates to the twin transition?
Okay, thank you, Tarek. Hello, everyone. So about the digital transformation, so I am a planner, an ICT planner in Indonesia, and Bappenas has a role, a key role for the create the roadmap of the digital transformation in Indonesia, because Indonesia is a very huge country, as Mrs. Tanah said before. If you compare to the Europe, Indonesia is lying between from the London to the Yerevan in Armenia. So it's a very huge country, and we have to plan scrupulously the digital transformation, because we learn from the history. All the success history is come through the transformation, and nowadays the digital transformation and green transition is two things, the twin transition, that we should take the initiative. And the Bappenas already launched some initiatives, such as the e-commerce roadmap, and also in the long-term and medium-term development planning in Bappenas, we conclude not only about the technical aspect, not only the financial aspect, but also we included the anthropological and sociological aspect, because we realize that digital transformation and green transition is not only about the technical, but also how the human can use it, and how we can implement the digital transformation in the human. And also about the collaboration with the GIZ, of course. As I said before, Indonesia is very huge. The government cannot manage the problem single-hand. We have to cooperate with the public sector, the private, with the other stakeholders, such as GIZ. And recently, we run the Green Tech Safari. So we in the four cities in Indonesia, and we map and we address some potential startup in Indonesia, and we raise them in the forum, and so many people can learn from the startup, such as maybe CarbonEthics. So we connect the startup existing with the community, so the community can learn something, and then we believe that if we empower the startup and we empower the community centers, it will be impact wider environment.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Bondan. And I think the keywords that you used there that actually we in Germany can also learn from, you talked about collaboration between government, academia, private sector, and being human-centered, which I think is key. Right? We are here at a tech conference and we talk about deep tech and high tech, but this technology is meaningless if the people we designed this for cannot use it. But yeah, maybe doing a little reality check here and coming back to Ibu Jessica and Minh here, now that you heard what Nga and Bondan have said, how does that resonate with you? Could you do a little assessment on what is working well? Where do you, as green tech entrepreneurs, feel very well supported by policy? And where are maybe things where you could now have a wish list today to give back to Vietnam and Indonesia of where would you like to see some more support maybe?
I think, yeah, it's good. Your question is, I think it's like a burning question for all of us as a startup in Vietnam. Without organization like the NIC and without the help from organization like GIZ, I think it's really hard for us to do anything successfully in Vietnam, especially. It's like we're too small. Even that we have the innovation, we have the technology, we have the belief that we can bring something to the society, to the people to use it, to make use of it. But without the help of organizations like the NIC and you, we just have two hands and we cannot reach out enough, large enough, fast enough to the people to bring our hope, our research, our technology to the people. So as you just said before, technologies, even how good it is, if it's not helping people, if it's not bring benefit to the society, it's useless. So since we learn from the very hard way, the innovation that we invest in and want to deploy into the market, innovation has two-way meanings. It's new, so it's something, it's good for people, but also it has a meaning of a little bit negative in the way of people do not know about that. So with the help of NIC, with the help of GIZ and many other NGOs in Vietnam, we actually are having bridges to get us to the people, to the user. So I say again, we are quite lucky that we actually having commercial product right after the establishment of NIC. So it just, with the help of NIC, we actually, right after we have commercial product, we already have some mechanism, a way to reach a larger market that large enough for us to sustain. So we are here today. I think without the help of organization like social organization from the state like NIC, we are not be able to do anything good for the society. So that is my share.
So it's really about helping to raise awareness on why the product is useful, why the service is useful. It's about gaining access, so leveraging the access that NIC has for you in order to really reach out to customers.
Yeah, that is all thanks to NIC. And I mean, like NIC is just one of them, the most active one, but there are many others. So I mean, it's like a collaboration effort. Mm-hmm. It's, I think like if it's just one or two entity, it will not be enough.
Right. Yeah. It takes a village to raise a green tech startup. Now, Jessica, something that you feel you're very supported by the policy framework, by government, and maybe a wish you would have in order to make carbon ethics scale up even more.
Yeah. Maybe I'll start with, there's a hindrance also. So it's just to show how sensitive it is. So European market has already established carbon market regulation since 20 years ago, while Indonesia is only starting now. So when there was a moratorium from the central government to pause carbon transaction, it was like all stopped. So it's how much policy definitely matter. I guess it's around the world, right? Interestingly, we have G20 Indonesia presidency in 2022, and the government mentioned about the commitment for the world about restoring 600,000 hectares of mangrove in Indonesia, and everyone suddenly come to CarbonEthics and want to be our partner. So that's like how significant it is. So for me, My wish list is really about for the regulation to be finished really soon, which I expect it to be 2025, hopefully, because it would completely change the landscape of nature conservation. So what happened is now I keep looking for CSR funding mainly because the regulation is not there yet. But once the regulation is established, then all the polluters have no choice rather than being responsible with their carbon footprint, right? And in my case, then there are much more big scale of conservation that I can do. And of course, the beneficiaries would be really the local communities. FYI, Indonesia is one of the most vulnerable people on Earth for climate change due to our social geographic conditions. So the regulation would really help us.
So thank you, Ibu Jessica. What we hear there is it's not just about carbon footprints and asking companies to be nice and care about this, but also by regulators putting pressure on companies so that there's a pull and that it doesn't become something that's nice to have, but a must-have.
Exactly.
So thank you for that. Unfortunately, we are already out of time. We could talk about this forever and ever and have a whole Green Tech conference. I wanted to thank you so much for being here today, all of our esteemed panelists. I wanted to thank Ling from our team who organized the panel here, and also Daniel, who's the head of the Digital Transformation Center in Indonesia, who helped bring our Indonesian delegates here. And then terima kasih and Kam-un to all of you here in the room to discuss with us. We're around and we're happy to discuss more. Enjoy the conference.